Hi, how are you? It's Travis in here, and welcome back to our adventures with the Gnome Mage. Today, we are in front of Chromie. And the reason why we are in front of Chromie is to finish up some quests today so we can unlock the Chronoboon Displacer. So what the Chronoboon Displacer does, it stores world buffs. So we have Rallying Cry of the Dragonslayer and Spirit of Zandalar world buff right now. And if we complete this quest and get access to the Chronoboon Displacer, we can store our world buffs there and use them during raid.
Tampering of the timeline by a sinister
so we're not like wasting our world buff time, right?
Has occurred in Andorra. I can try to keep the passage of time here intact and mend what has been damaged, but I'll need your help to do so uninterrupted. Temporal parasites, carrion that feed on the strands of time's altered flow, now infest the silos of Andorra. A blue pulse of distortion is their only visual marker. They slow my auguries. Please, adventurer, help me by using this temporal displacer to root out these parasites.
Okay, so there we go. Have to do a little temporal displacement quest, and we should be able to use or purchase Chronoboon Displacers off of Chromie. And I never really used these back in the day. Well, they weren't out. They're kind of like something they added to Classic. It's a change, I guess you could say. And the reason why they did that is because of how toxic people were regarding world buffs. A lot of people would literally make characters just to, dispel people's world buffs or gank people and make sure they lose them. They're a big part of raiding. Some guilds expect you to have them. So if you lose them, it does really suck, and you have to collect them again. So we're at one of these silos here. This should work, right? I think we're at the right spot. Looks like we're not the only one. Okay, so there we go. These are the right ones. So you just have to deal with these mobs here. And once we slay enough parasites, I think we unlock the item. Now, I'm not too sure if this is how you do it, but I know Chromie sells it. I thought like another vendor would sell it, but I guess not. Could be wrong about that, but I know you can get them off of Chromie. Which more spawn? 2 at a time is not really very much. I think you can get more than just 2. We'll get our mana up here quick. And I want to try to do this somewhat fast so we can actually store these 2 buffs. And use them for doing Molten Core potentially. Kind of want to get into a Molten Core soon. It's a lot of fun doing ZG. We got a nice ring. Band of Servitude. And we also got a tier piece, but we don't have the requirements to actually get the item yet when we turn it in. We have the Primal Hikari bindings. We'll get some cloth bracers from it. But we need to get our reputation up to at least friendly with the Zandalar tribe to turn it in. So we'll probably need to do at least one more run of ZG before we can actually turn them in and get the bracers that we've acquired. And maybe we'll do that today. Maybe we'll head down to the island. I'll show you guys the island, and maybe we'll pick up a few more quests there for the raid so we can get more rep. Here we go again. Yeah, it is strange how they added this to the game. But it was necessary. Getting griefed and losing your world buffs it does suck. It's not an enjoyable experience. And, you know, people would be like kind of forced to have alts. Right? Because you couldn't really play your character when you got your world buffs. Like, after you got your world buffs, you kind of were forced to just log off so you didn't lose them or waste them. You know, waste the time. So, like, when I would get my world buffs, I would just log out and wait till raid and then maybe play, like, my mage alt that I had. And you actually needed an alt as well, just to use as a lookout to make sure, like, when you're getting a buff, say, like, Songflower in Fellwood, you would have, like, an alt as a lookout to make sure you don't get ganked when your character's going to pick the Songflower. We're doing all right here. We're already at 8. Shouldn't take us too long. I need to repair, too. We're at 40% right now. Looks like we're not the only one doing this quest. There's a hunter over there that might be doing it as well. And Mike Morheim's game, Sunderfolk. You guys don't know who Mike Morheim is. He's, I guess you could say, the founder of WoW. One of the founders. I think he's like the founder of Blizzard. And they came out with a new studio, and they're making a game called Sunderfolk. It's sort of like a Baldur's Gate 3 co-op game. And it's got an interesting, you know, mechanic where you, like, controller that you can use. You have to use your phone, right? It's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys remember the BlizzCon where the guy's like, don't you guys have phones? And when they were talking about Diablo Mobile, I think it was called Diablo Immortal. It was a mobile game, and nobody was, like, really hyped up about it. And then the people that were introducing it were saying, like, don't you guys have phones? Why are you all upset? So this game utilizes your cell phone as a controller, your smartphone, I should say. And cool thing about it is you only need one person to own the game to play with others. Sort of like, you know, It Takes Two and Split Fiction. They've kind of brought that back, right? Which is great, because that's a huge issue with gaming with friends. Is you'll be like, well, I think this game's pretty cool, and then you'll be like, hey guys, do you want to play it? And then if they have to spend money, most are just like, no, I don't want to play. So this kind of, you know, deals with that by, you know, only one person has to buy the game. Usually they're kind of expensive, but if one person buys it, they can invite anybody else to play alongside them. And they don't have to, like, you know, purchase the game for them to play with their friends. I think that's going to be a common theme. Kind of brings back the old school days of like bringing a game over to a friend's house and just playing with them, right? But instead of like doing that in real life, you're just sort of doing it digitally. So I think it was a pretty good idea. We'll see how it goes. I think some game studios probably hate that idea because, you know, they want people to buy their game as many times as they can sell it. Sort of like how Grand Theft Auto is with, you know, their releases, right? They release on console first and then eventually PC. So they get people to buy the game twice. I hope that doesn't happen again with 6, but I have a feeling it will. It's a pretty smart move by Grand Theft Auto to do that. Like GTA 5, I think it released on what, PS... Did it release on PS3 too? PS3, PS4, PS5, and PC, I guess. Like 3 generations worth of consoles and PC. Which means they could have sold a game to somebody 4 times. I waited till it came out on PC for GTA 5. I only bought it once. But this time around, I'm getting suckered into buying it on console. I'm just interested to see what a $2 billion game is like. You know, the last one, GTA 5, was $200 million. This game has put in $2 billion. You know, it should be... I'm going to be probably disappointed, but the amount of content should be insane. And it's smart that they're delaying it, because I think they know that there's high expectations for it. All right, so we finished the quests. Hopefully this is the last one we want to do. I kind of want to get back into dungeons or PvP and continuing to get loot so we can, you know, get into more raiding. And I don't even know if we need to join a guild, guys. The pug was pretty damn good that we joined for ZG. Like, if I keep running into pugs like that for, like, you know, Molten Core and potentially Blackwing Lair, then what's the point of joining a guild, right? When you could just log in and do a raid whenever you have free time. But I'm saying that now. Once we run into a raid where it's just like a wipe fest, I'll probably change my mind. So yeah, temporal parasites are a common malady present wherever the flow of time has been tampered with. I sense that many are present, and this is disturbing. Rooting out whatever ones you can find will help me be able to take a better hold on the deteriorating temporal situation here. I will be able to sense when this has been achieved.
Time feels easier to mend now. Thank you, adventurer.
We'll take
Addons
that gives us more gold.
Consequences of a fractured timeline, I appreciate that you understand the urgency of countering what I suspect more and more to be a scourge-driven malfeasance. I see no harm in rewarding you for your assistance, mortal. Your greatest feats are to come, and the awarding of a bauble will certainly not alter your future destiny.
We are not done.
Your continued aid, however, is something that I and the Dragonflight could use. I need you to reach into the world beyond this room, adventurer. Allow me to explain. You see the difference in this room compared to the rest of Endor Hall. My Dragonflight works in many different ways and in many different timelines. To mend Endor Hall's damage, I now act from a different timeline as not to overly contaminate it. To continue this, though, I need time trinkets, ones trapped from when the plague hit. Find them in lockboxes found in the ruined buildings that make up this once proud city.
All right, so we got to collect some watches, guys. This won't take too long at all. Slowly make our way there. We can probably get the skeletal fragments too. Kind of wish we did this quest when we were actually, like, you know, trying to get XP. Would have been a good idea. But it's fine. You can't... we did, you know, get attuned for all the raids while we were getting XP, and I think that's pretty good as well. Got a paladin over here. Doing a little bit of fishing. Might be disturbing the fish. Making a lot of noise over here. There's another watch right there. Just need a few more. I think there's one down here, maybe. Looks like there's one up this way. This place is it's not the funnest place to be. You're like surrounded by zombies and skeletons. In hardcore, I'm completely going to avoid this place. It's kind of rough if you're, you know, 50, 53, 54. Can easily pull a bunch of stuff and die. I feel like running over there, but I guess we could focus on getting the skeletal fragments while we're here. Make a little bit of coin. You guys actually do quite a bit of damage. Let's wand him down. A few more fragments to go. Should be able to get quite a bit here. We'll AoE this back down. Try to pick up all the executioners. There's a boss right in the middle there. Araj the Summoner. Level 61. Yeah, we only have 1 hour left on our buffs. We're probably... We'll store them, but... We should probably reset them again. See if I can deal with these three. Did I pull any more? Hopefully not. To go just to do another run here. Surprised that rogue didn't gank us. All right, 4 more, not too bad. Couple over there. I think there's a watch just over here as well. I wonder if this is like one of the last quests we need to do that I forgot about it. Tried to make sure to do as much of the, you know, end game requirements as we could while leveling up. Supposedly there's one back here. I think we might have got this one, though. But this Chronoboon Displacer is pretty awesome. It allows us to just, you know, collect the buffs whenever we, like, feel like it, and then we just store them. And then we can just, you know, play the game normally. Without having to worry about losing our buffs or wasting time on our buffs. We just need one more. There's one up here. Weird how Evocate didn't give us our last, like, pick of, stay away from that A-bomb. Is there one in the middle? Oh, the Araj Phylactery Shard. Oh, that's a quest. We actually have a quest to slay Araj. I don't think we can do that solo. He hits pretty hard. Yeah, it's probably not happening. Unless we get somebody else to join us. It'll be a tough pull for us as a mage solo. Not too sure if there's any more for us to find here. Might be one here at one of these homes. Oh, damn it. Didn't mean to pull that guy. He's healing himself. It's fine. I forgot about dark mending. So we got one more skeleton to go. I guess we'll just fight this one here. And then we'll be able to turn this quest in. And we just need to find one more watch. And then I think we'll be done. There might be... I suppose there's a watch right here. I don't see anything. Oh, there it is right there. I wonder if I could just... Yeah, Nova and then steal this. And then go for a run. Yeah, I think we're okay. Did I LOS here? Nice. Got a red paladin doing some questing here. Alright, so let's head back to Chromie, guys. Finally collected all the watches. Got an hour left on both of our buffs, but we'll store them when we... Maybe I'll store them, maybe I won't. We can always just go and collect them again. I think I've kind of wasted too much time to make it worth storing. It says it still has... It's probably like an hour and a half left, maybe. Depends how long we think Molten Core will be. I think usually Molten Core will probably be like an hour. Maybe an hour 30, something like that. Depending on if we wipe or not. And I think even pugging BWL could be a bit of a pain. I know it's... I probably won't try pugging AQ40 and Nax. I think those raids are a little too rough to hop into pugs and do. But it depends on the leader, right? If you have a pretty good leader and they vet whoever they're bringing in,
These
Could
are
work out
exactly
well.
what I need, adventurer. Thank you. Allow me to suitably
Counting
reward
of
you with
time.
this. You may not understand what you would need with such a device. You might not even know quite what it really is. Alas, I cannot tell you when you will find it most useful. Just know that at some point in the future, you may find this item to have extreme utility.
So can't we
and
buy
function
it
when
here?
consumed. Whether or
Well,
not
now we
you
can.
choose to
Nice.
hold on to it until then, this, my friend, is up to you.
Okay, so here they
If you
are.
are willing to help
Chronoboon
once more, I can
Displacer.
certainly use your assistance. I'll gladly take
How many
more
we can
watches
buy?
you might uncover from the ruins of Andorhal. They certainly help me in maintaining a balance against whatever malign force is meddling with the timeline.
Yeah, it's more than
in
enough right
exchange
there.
for those watches, I'll give you another item that, in the future, I suspect you'll find quite the use for.
All right, so there we go. There's our supercharged Chronoboon Displacer. So it's a buff we have now. And it tells us how much time we have on our buffs. So we have 73 minutes on Rallying Cry of Dragon Slayer and 79 on Spirit of Xandalar. So say like an hour and 15 for both. So not that great, but it's cool that it does that. Any world buff you have will go in here. So the world buffs from Dire Maul North we can store here, you know, Songflower, all that stuff. And then we can just, you know, continue playing the game and not have to worry about losing our buffs. Or our buffs getting dispelled by griefing shamans and priests. All right, here we are, we're back in Stormwind. I didn't have any teleports, so I had to use a portal there.
Hey there. Greetings, Mage. Shall I provide you with further insight into the world of magic?
Is there a vendor here? I don't think so. All right, so there we go. We got our supercharged Chronoboon Displacer, guys. So now you guys know what that is. If you haven't played since, you know, like 2006 or 2005, you'd probably be like, what the heck is this thing? But now you know. I think this is my first time actually using it myself, so there we go. We got a bunch of them now. They're not that cheap either. It's 10 gold to buy a whole stack of them. So I'm going to head over to a reagent vendor here.
I supply.
Best deals in all of Stormwind, my friend. Won't find any better. Now, what can I help you with?
A few of those. I don't know how many of these we need. All right, there we go.
For the Alliance.
We are all set, guys. All right, so we're doing all right here. Looks like we got a few, we got our portals set up. We now have a bunch of Chronoboon Displacers, so we can store our world buffs. And next episode, I guess we'll check out this island over here in Stranglethorn Vale. And we'll pick up some quests and potentially get ourselves into another raid, maybe Molten Core, or maybe we'll just do some more dungeons or some PvP. That's going to be the end of today's episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.